This video is brought to you by Manscaped. These are iPod socks. What started off as a joke when it was first announced by Steve Jobs in 2004 as the next revolutionary new product soon became one of Apple's weirdest collector's items. And of course, I have the iPod socks right over here. I got these for around $9 off someone on Instagram a few months ago, and I'm going to be unboxing them in today's video and kind of showing you guys what the entire 2004 music era of Apple was really like. Now, many of you may not even remember what iPod socks were, and to be honest, these things were discontinued all the way back in 2012. So it's actually been a pretty long time since we've seen these on these shelves of the Apple Store. And there's no doubt that these were just another typical Apple product that you'd probably never expect Apple to make. And yet here we are unboxing a pair of socks on a tech YouTube channel. Let's get right into it. So I picked these socks up from Instagram like I mentioned. They came out to $9. With shipping and everything, it was like 20 bucks. But the colors that we do have here are blue, green, gray, pink, and orange. Unfortunately, we are missing purple, but to be honest, you could easily find one of those online. So technically this one was like open box. Some of them were used, some of them were completely brand new. So yeah, it's pretty nice little nostalgic collector's items to have. And let's go ahead and open this thing up. Now the box definitely shows its age over time, and you can see that it had this really cool transparent design where it sort of looked like glass in a way. Of course, we do have the iPod socks branding on the front, and on the sides there really isn't too much going on except for this little barcode, which kind of looks like it was placed by a retailer other than Apple. So this got me a little curious. I actually went ahead to Google and I searched up if iPod socks were actually sold outside of the Apple Store, and they actually were. They were carried by a lot of other major retailers as well. And so this was probably some sort of inventory sticker that was placed by another company. I don't think this was actually placed by Apple, but it's still on here, which is pretty cool to see. And of course, at the bottom, there is the official Apple product sticker with the model number, which is always nice to see. And then of course, to actually open this thing up, all you have to do is literally pop this thing right out, and the iPod socks are greeted in these beautiful colors, as you guys can see. And what's really interesting, like I mentioned, is that you could literally put any Apple product into here. They're super stretchy, so you could fit a lot of different things into here. And if you actually go to Apple's website from 2010, they actually listed the iPhone as like part of their compatibility list. So over time, as Apple came out with the newer products, they actually added them to the compatibility list of these socks, which is pretty cool to see. And the Apple logo, of course, was also on one side and the iPod logo was on the other. And honestly, these were just literally like a fashion statement in 2004. Like if you pulled out iPod socks, a lot of people knew that you had an iPod, that, you know, these things are very colorful. Like these things are just so cool to use. Like if I pulled these out in 2022, I'm sure a lot of people would be curious to know what exactly these things are. Now, I've been using these socks exclusively on my iPod Touch 4th generation just because that thing scratches way too easily, and I literally cannot afford to get any more scratches, because if this thing gets scratched even more, then I literally won't have any other iPods in my collection to replace it with. So yeah, these things are definitely going to be very helpful when it comes to protecting your iPods. And do you guys want to know what's better than keeping your iPods protected? Manscaped, the global brand for men's grooming and hygiene products. Now, they have some of the best tools and liquid formulations to protect the big three odor zones, of course, your body, butt, and balls. And they hooked me up with their Performance Package 4.0, and right out of the box, as you guys can see, everything just feels so premium. I love seeing things like this. And the first thing that we have over here, of course, is their Lawnmower 4.0. This is their 4th generation trimmer, which is actually both waterproof and also has the advanced skin safe technology, which helps reduce nicks and cuts on the most sensitive regions of the body. Now, Manscaped also has you covered with this really cool LED light, which shows you how much juice you have left with up to 90 minutes on a single charge. And trust me guys, those 90 minutes are going to be really important, because the last thing you want is for your trimmer to die halfway through a cut. And it also has this really cool travel lock feature where if you press it 3 times, it goes into a lock mode, so it won't accidentally turn on while you're traveling, which is pretty convenient. And this box also included 2 things that I didn't even know I needed until now. The Crop Preserver, which is a ball deodorant. You can basically apply this after you shower for all day body odor protection. And of course, the Crop Reviver, which is a ball toner spray. You guys can use this. It has aloe vera and it just helps refresh the body. And honestly, Manscaped literally has it covered from head to toe. They also have their Weed Whacker, which is a nose and ear hair trimmer. This one is also wireless, has the same advanced skin safe technology, so you won't be left tugging those annoying sensitive hairs. And for a limited time, you guys can get 2 free gifts: the Shed travel bag and the Manscaped anti-chafing boxer briefs. Go to manscaped.com to get 20% off plus free international shipping plus those 2 free gifts when you use my code CLASSIC at checkout. And thank you so much to Manscape for sponsoring today's video. They always have the right tools for the job. So now that we know a little bit more about iPod socks, let's talk a little bit more about the history and how these things sort of came to market. So, back in the day when iPod was around and, the iPod was basically dominating the MP3 market, there were a lot of third-party manufacturers that were basically making cases for these iPods. And during the Apple Music event in 2004, Steve Jobs literally said that we think that these companies are profiting more off of these cases than we are from actually making iPods themselves. And so during that same music event, Steve Jobs basically said that we have a revolutionary new product for your iPod, pause, and then socks. And then of course the crowd went absolutely insane, but it's just such a cool moment in iPod history to see that these products were around for so long. And it's very unusual for Apple nowadays to actually hold big events for small products like these, because if Apple were to come out with iPod socks in 2022, they would probably just secretly upload them onto the App Store and not hold a huge event for them. But back in the day, things were very different, and the fact that Apple really hyped up the crowd during that day just really made it so much more special. And even though I was 4 years old when these things came out, I do vividly remember owning them, I think when I was 8 or 9 years old, so a few years after they actually came out. The problem is these things were heavily replicated, and so it was really hard to tell whether you had real or fake ones at some point. And so if you guys ever do end up buying them for yourselves online, just be super careful with that. I probably wouldn't pay more than $50 for a brand new sealed box of iPod socks. So yeah, just be careful out there when it does come to actually buying these things for nostalgia and for your collection. And I also wanted to show you guys Apple's website from back in 2010, just to give you guys an idea as to what it was like buying these iPod socks almost 12 years ago. Unfortunately, I couldn't go all the way to the 2004 website, but this is as earliest as I could find. And take a look at this website. It just looks so old, and that $29 price tag for the iPod socks is honestly pretty steep. I do wish they were a little bit cheaper, but they were considered a premium accessory by Apple, and they were made by the same manufacturer that made the iPod. And so it made sense that they were a little bit more expensive than what you would probably spend buying another case. But take a look at some of these reviews. Some of them are pretty funny. This one person said for $30, you could go buy yourself some socks that are actually for your feet. And some other reviews just straight up said that the iPod socks were really good at keeping their iPods protected. And as you guys can see, there were definitely a lot of different opinions when it came to owning the iPod socks, but at the end of the day, they were a fun product, and I do wish Apple could bring them back. Now, let me know in the comment section below, do you guys think Apple should bring them back maybe for a limited time? I think it would be pretty cool to see. Now, I have no idea if anyone from Apple is watching this video, but if you work at Apple, maybe put the word in, maybe bring them back for a week. It would be pretty cool to see. I would definitely stock up on them if I could. Maybe buy 10 boxes, just keep them sealed for the next 10 years, see what happens to them. Maybe they'll go up in value. But yeah, it would be pretty cool to see them come back one day, because I would definitely love to buy them. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If this was your first video that you've seen on my channel, be sure to watch my other videos as well. I hope you guys enjoyed it and learned something new about the iPod socks. And also, if there is any other product that you want me to review, some unusual Apple product, be sure to comment that down below as well. But anyways, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.